Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining us this afternoon for another broadcast here on 412 Productions. We got a good one for you guys today. Amazing guest going to be joining the panel, Mr. 45-1 Actual, and he might be bringing some of his friends with him as well. So we're going to have a good old time today. But for now, we are in the pre-show. Thank you guys for joining me live early. Those of you here for the roll call, jump into chat wherever you're at. Say hello. We'll give you a shout out and get this show officially underway in about 5 minutes at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. I see Scott McNeil, producer, out there following the channel. Very cool on DLive. Lino Vincent, Salabor, Q Boys. What's up, guys? Good to see you all. Diane Brodeen, Spiky999, and Bitter DBYU over on Rumble. Give us a thumbs up on Rumble if you're over there, and please share the link. And I see Joe and Lane, of course, modding the chat, keeping things all comfy over on Rumble. Let's see who's hanging out in the comfy bunker. The best and only place to watch the second half of today's broadcast at 5 o'clock hour, available exclusively on pill.net. Floyd in there first. Due diligence. What's up, man? Lyle and Jenny, Packers 412, not far behind. Great to see you out there. We got Delia out at the state capitol for election integrity presser. Interesting. I wonder how that's going. Great to see you, Delia. Steven Spragg, welcome. Good to see you as well. There's Joe doing her mod thing. Thank you again, Joe, for all you do. And thank you, Floyd, for a Wagyu Wednesday cookie. Yum, yum, yum. Absolutely delicious. Patriot 714, great to see you. Good to see Jay out there as well. HL Paco in the house. And General Buford, what's going on? Spiky 999, good to see you as well. We got Facts Not Fear and Kim Iowa hanging out with us. What's up, Kim? Smallwood for Trump, great to see you as well. We got R. Harrell in the house, Fazik, and Barb Robbins. Good to see you, Barb. Lightsphere, Lance, how we doing today, buddy? Misfortune, Kim Ha, Snow Bunny 68. Delia says the new pill thing is still messed up. In which way, Delia? Because it's working flawlessly on my end. So I'm curious as to what you're experiencing. Maybe we can get you some help. There's Agent Feisty Mango hanging out with us today. Great to see you. Oh, in the waiting room as well. They're already hanging out, ready to join. Very cool. We'll bring you guys up in just a moment. Clover Lily, what's up, Clover? PDX Patriot, great to see you. Luann V, what's going on? Hope you're having a great Wednesday so far. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Hope all is well. Great to see you, Range Pony. Dave 75, Glenna Riggleman out there as well. There's Jenny, curious one. Great to see you in the chat. Dangleberry, what's going on, my friend? Eagle Freedom, welcome. Sigurd Dragon Slayer popping in. Namester, what's going on? Brendolyn Gowerly, Washington Patriot. Vanita 71, A from PA, great to see you. The Gray Man checking in. DX, good to see you as well. Don Ritchie 17, always a pleasure, my friend. What's up, bro, dude? Just checking in, bro. Great to see you, man. Thank you for the cookie. I really appreciate it. 315 Russ. How we doing today, sir? Laura Y, repping the 412. Let's go, Laura. Kane Chris, how we doing? CK Whitehorse 180. It's great to see you. Cali Patriot 14 and Spirit 554 checking in as well. Outlaw Woman, Running Patriot, Thumper Rose, Mad Joker, K Landry, Quiltonon, Dread Quarters. What's up, you guys? Phyllis 34, Lizzie B, and Dizzy Rockin'. Great to see you as well. Mix Picks. Welcome, Sean Joe. Thank you for the cookie. Always in Texas. It's so good to see you out there. Flawless in USA. Timberjet. Holy smokes, everyone's here today. We got my man Kyman checking in from South Africa. Molan Labe, great to see you, my friend. Spicoli, Amos, Duppy. There's 451, the No Prisoners podcast. Awesome. Can't wait to have you guys up here. CDU, Calamero in the house as well. Sean Joe. And Idaho Vet, welcome you guys. Good to see all you. M the Painter says, in under the wire, hooking us up with the can. Cheers. Welcome everybody. Sean Joe, thank you for that cookie. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everybody. PNW Sasquatch, Cherry M, more pouring in now. Who else was that just popped in? Holly Galjour. All right, welcome. Hey, what's up, Filter Dog? How you doing, man? All right, I'm gonna get this show underway. CB Joey, good to see you. Marco Lanon, welcome. Wisconsin, thank you for the cookie. Says green screen maestro extraordinaire. Yeah, something like that. All right, Sergeant Sparky, welcome. It's top of the hour. Let's get the intro rolling and get this show officially underway. Filter Dog, thank you for the can. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all, I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall, we're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production, Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Hero is the power that's controlling the flight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system to the roles they're assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the boot and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful. Then you're gone. But not us. We're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right, knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining us for another installment of the Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adol Nero. It is February 28th, 2024, and we've got an awesome panel for you guys today. I got my OG, Drunk Pinata, riding shotgun with me, and then we've got our special guest, 45-1 actual host of the No Prisoners podcast, and he brought the entire fam along today. Super exciting. 45-1, welcome. It's great to have you back, and please introduce us to your friends, man.
Awesome. Yeah, well, it's great to be back. Been too long. Always look forward to these final Wednesdays. Come and hang out. So yeah, man, thank you for having us. All right, well, I'll go ladies first. Feisty, my lovely lady, and one of my co-hosts, kicks a lot of butt. She's pretty much in charge of making sure posts go out everywhere and reminding me to screw my head on before I do anything. So yeah, she kind of she is a spiritual glue to the entire operation. And then, like I said, she's on top of the social media stuff. And likewise with Kevin, my other co-host, amazing friend. We've gone through hell and high water together, and it's great to have him on the team. And he does a lot of video editing and other social media stuff, and just they both make the show what it is, making sure that we're interacting with chat and keeping the conversation flowing and bringing in details on stories or breaking news. And like I said, it just wouldn't be what it is without him. So without further ado, Feisty, you wanna say hello?
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you all.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the panel, Feisty.
Thank you for having me.
We've seen you in the chat, so it's awesome to be able to break some words with you here and have a deplorable discussion today. So welcome, and let's say hi to Kevin too. Kevin, welcome to the show, man.
Why, thank you. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then of course we got Drunk Pinata also riding shotgun. Pinata, how was your show today, bud?
Oh, fantastic as usual.
Yeah. Anything we should know about? Any main narratives they're pushing or any changes from what they've been doing the last 48 hours or so?
There's this thing they're saying, I had to look up the word because I hadn't heard it in so long. There's new Russian collusion. So there's that. They're starting this new series over there on MSNBC where they're kind of really laying down this whole Trump wants autocracy, but at the same time, they always say that they want our democracy, which really, when you think about it, would be mob rule, majority rule, which would turn itself into an autocracy anyway. So it's just more classic projection. So they're running with that. They're running essentially with this. You have a combination of a few different things. The desperate need for Ukraine aid, then the Navalny thing that they can blame Putin, again going after Tucker, all this stuff with the arrest of this. Suddenly they don't trust this guy at the FBI, shocker, and arrest this Alexander Smirnov. At the same time, you have Hunter and James Biden testifying in front of the committee. So it's very clear that they wanted to delegitimize the committee ahead of these interviews, and that's the entire reason for it. And another good giveaway is the fact that even though he was already essentially agreed to be ankle monitored and tracked, that they decided just to arrest him and shut him up because they can't have him obviously talking. So you have all that stuff all going on at the same time. Normally that would maybe seem chaotic, but the way we kind of follow this stuff every day, it's easy to keep track of. But the good thing is we can keep track of it. We can convey that to our audiences, and then they can keep track of it, and they're not going to get duped. And I don't think you're going to see this entire plot of Russia collusion 2.0 really take over. I think what you're going to see is an informed populace that understands what the fuck is actually going on now.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking, I think right before you came out, Kevin, you brought up this blood clot situation with this reporter that supposedly they were saying, Putin murdered this guy, Navalny, right? It was a United States reporter that was arrested by the Kremlin and died in prison. And the whole narrative behind this was, Putin had him killed, and now we're finding out it was just a blood clot, natural causes, nothing like what they were saying. The Russian thing seems to continue to fall flat on its face. What do you guys think? Is the Russian boogeyman, is the specter of that wearing off, like Pinata is saying? What are your thoughts?
I think they're trying to keep it alive. I think it is starting to wear off. That's why they're working so hard to keep it alive. It's like resuscitating a lie is what it's doing.
Look how quickly we went from Russian space nukes to Navalny. You know what I mean? Like, look how quickly they shifted from one thing to the next. And I think people are just like, give it a rest. You know what I mean? Give it a rest.
Well, let me show you real quick here exactly what they're doing here. So they went to they do this. They go to these Trump rallies and they try to pick people out. And so if you guys want to understand the sentiment of the people on the ground, here you go.
Those things that stop me in my tracks, because of course it is so true. And no one knows that better than our very own Von Hilliard. If the autocratic slide around election denialism had a beat reporter, it was Von. He has seen this descent into lies and fiction being willfully and enthusiastically accepted as fact by Trump voters up close and personal on the road for many, many years now. His brand new reporting represents its logical but very dangerous extension. Take a listen.
If Russia did take over Ukraine, would it give you any pause?
I don't have a problem with Russia. I really don't. I have a problem with Ukraine. They're corrupt. I think that people are just ridiculous that they think that Putin's such this enemy. He isn't doing anything. He just wants back what was his.
But he invaded Ukraine, killing thousands of people.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
As a veteran yourself, does it concern you at all that Russian aggression could move even beyond Ukraine?
I don't think Putin's a problem. I think Zelensky's the problem.
Why do you think Putin's not the problem? He's the one that invaded Ukraine and has killed thousands of people.
Because Putin is trying to save his country from the likes of idiots like Zelensky and the elitists.
You know, this administration is trying to start a war with Russia. Russia's not our enemy.
Russia's not our enemy.
So then they go on a 20-minute conversation about how they just can't believe that people would believe in these weird conspiracy theories, you know, with that euphemism. And anyway, so
what I wish you would see more people like on the street like this saying in those situations is bringing up the Nazification of Ukraine, the neo-Nazis. I think that's such a huge piece of it and a huge piece of the motivation of what Putin's doing. I mean, at least according to his interview with Tucker Carlson. And I feel like that's something that would create such a logical contradiction with the left, right? Because they call everybody a Nazi that they don't agree with. And if they were to have to come to terms with their precious Ukrainian government is literally using real Nazis, right? Or that Putin, part of his motivation is to fight actual Nazis in Ukraine. I feel like you would make heads explode. You know, I really wish we could get that message out there better. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, well, I mean, the New York Times already tried that one article. They're like, look, there's a lot of Nazi symbolism on the front lines of Ukraine, but it's just complicated. Okay, so let us explain and gaslight all of these different instances where everybody's seeing Nazi salutes and Nazi symbolism all over their gear and vehicles. And that was hilarious. I had that pinned to my X profile for the longest time, just watching the New York Times try to explain away the Nazis in Ukraine. It's incredible.
And it wasn't even just the New York Times. You had Fox News. I think it was Brian Kilmeade or Neil Cavuto. One of the daytime people had Zelensky on for an interview, and they brought up the neo-Nazis and the Azov battalion. Zelensky's response was basically like, yeah, it is what it is. You know, like he had no real defense for it. And they cut it. They cut it from airing. They cut that piece out. You had to go online to actually see it. It was absurd. So I mean, it's both sides. The whole entire Warhawk establishment really wants to keep this from the people. They want that boogeyman Russia. They want, you know, the arms dealers and the defense contractors to continue making money hand over fist. While we continue to fund essentially both sides of this conflict. These people are straight up evil. Go ahead, Pinata, if you've got more you want to show here.
Well, just on that, because I didn't know if I was going to find it real quick, but I was able to. So this is the kind of theme that I've seen them increasingly run with this autocracy, strongman type of rhetoric that's saying that he's just like Hitler, he's just like Mussolini. This is another reason why they played up all those comparisons previously. They're trying to make a case here that you're not going to have a quote democracy if Trump gets in, and so then they lie to the public about everything, and then they wonder why people even entertain the following thought process.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a revolution.
What does that look like to you?
Total mayhem. But I think it's going to be the only choice that some people see.
They say Joe Biden wins the White House again. You don't believe that he actually does. How does Trump come into power then?
It may be up to us.
Is that a physical takeover of the White House?
Could be. And it wouldn't just be the White House, it would be the country.
The Pentagon?
Sure.
And you think that human life could be a consequence of that?
It could be. It's called collateral damage and the cost of war.
I don't know what to say.
When she talked about, these are conversations that last 15 minutes, Nicole. These are the parts, when I talk about untangling all of this, when I said, okay, well, what does it mean to take over the country? She goes, well, you start in state government and you work your way towards Washington. Right? This is so complex. And
my guess is when she was asked that question, she was talking about taking over positions through elections, but whatever.
Deep. And again, these are not one-off conversations, though. These are conversations that folks are engaged. I said, do you talk to your family about this, your neighbors? She goes, oh, yeah, we are all ready for this moment.
So did they look at January 6th as mission not accomplished, or did they look at January 6th of like, oh, if only we'd been in all the capitals?
Two parts of that. Number one, they believe that January 6th, that Donald Trump should have been the one that was named president of the United States.
Correct.
But number two, they also justify the violence that took place that day. It's very complex. They believe that they were set up on the attack that day, but then it gets at the heart of that is just furtherance of why they need to come into power this time around. Because once again, January 6th was evidence that the FBI and the U.S. government, Joe Biden and the Democrats were all out to get them and imprison them. They named the January 6th defendants who remained behind bars despite the video evidence that they were the ones that assaulting Capitol police officers. It's complex.
So
always
People are insane.
Yeah, they really are. They really are.
It's a different it's a different reality. As someone who does that every day, I can tell you that it's really hard to tell the difference between the people that really believe it and the useful idiots and the people who really buy into it and absolutely know what they're doing. And it comes in very subtle ways on differing stories. If they do the same thing on each story, then you'll see that they definitely probably know what they're doing. But there'll be one time where something will stick out like a sore thumb. Like one of their hosts, when the Deutsche Bank thing was going on with the quote New York fraud trial, she worked at Deutsche Bank at one point before she was a host on MSNBC. So she knew the whole thing about the banks do their due diligence. And so she goes on there and she starts talking about this on MSNBC about how, no, the banks do this. They do this. I'm like, okay, then now I know you're the useful idiot because there's no way you're going to say that. Even if you did have the expertise, you're being a subject material expert on that. So, but that's how a lot of people sometimes can wake up. I'm not saying that person would. I'm saying that when something that you're a subject matter expert is blatantly lied about, that's when you're going to have your first chance to really get in, or for themselves to understand that, hey, why are they, is somebody lying? And then there's another effect. I forget what the name of it is. I'm shit, what it is. There's an effect of like, you might experience that when you read a news article, and then you turn the page on the same publication, and then they completely forget that they just lied about you about the previous subject.
I don't know. I think it's just Stockholm syndrome, honestly.
Something like that. There's somebody put it in the chat a while back, and I looked it up. It was I forget the term.
All right. Well, if it comes to mind, throw it out there. But I'm going to go ahead and take care of our sponsors, and then we'll jump into a whole bunch of other stuff that I have lined up today. Our first sponsor is pretty much a sponsor every day of this show, earthgardenbotanicals.com. Earth Garden Botanicals is an amazing company run by our friend Jolene up in Montana. She makes these wellness products. They're fantastic. Her newest one is the white pine needle extract. It's a concentrate version of the sunshine and pine needle tea, great for detoxing the body. There's even been some studies out there showing that the pine needle tea and the extract can help with vaccine-related injuries, which is pretty interesting stuff. There's a lot of great CBD and hemp products as well. The CBD oil tinctures, all the ingredients are locally and organically grown on small Montana farms. The value here is amazing because of the local nature of the product. She's able to offer this stuff at a great price. It tastes amazing. My favorite flavors are the orange ginger bergamot, the huckleberry, but there's unflavored peppermint, cinnamon bliss, and cherry, something for everybody. So check that out. There's CBD oil for pets, Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies to help you get a good night's sleep. The Arnica salve is a topical cream for your sore joints and muscles with or without CBD oil infused. So check out all those awesome hemp and CBD products. Otherwise, we have the elderberry tonic for boosting your immune system, fire cider to help clear your sinuses if you're feeling stuffed up. I know, like right now, this time of year, the weather is constantly, it's cold, it's warm, it's cold, it's warm. Messes with my sinuses. So I always appreciate having a little bit of that in the cabinet. I mentioned the sunshine and pine needle tea. If you are a tea drinker, there's a handful of different ones to choose from here, from elderberry tea, golden potion tea, serenity, and of course, like I said, the sunshine and pine needle tea. They're all delicious, and they all serve a little bit of a different purpose. And then the critter juice with summer right around the corner. The mosquitoes will be out and attacking. At least they always attack me. This stuff has been an absolute game changer. It's an all-natural insect repellent. It smells good. It doesn't feel oily and gross on your skin. And most importantly, it really works. It's like I said, absolute game changer. I keep one in my golf bag, keep one in my truck, and always have one by the front door for whenever I'm going to be doing anything outside. Promo code 412 at checkout gets you 10% off your order. So go load up on all these amazing products at earthgardenbotanicals.com. Tell Jolene we said hello. She absolutely loves you guys. Our other sponsor is diamondsoapco.com. These guys are as America first as it gets. This is a veteran and family owned and operated company. Harold and Laura have been married over 33 years. They are both Air Force Intel vets, and they make soaps and body butters handmade here in the United States using organic, all-natural ingredients. This stuff smells amazing. It's super high quality. I love the Bonfire and Kentucky Bourbon. Those are my favorites, but there's a ton of different scents to choose from, something for everybody. Island Escapes, Cedar Amber. You got your green tea, cucumber, lemongrass, frankincense, and myrrh. And then there's some floral ones too. If you go to the soap section here, you'll see things like night violet, lavender. There's southern peach, citrus burst. Again, something for everybody. You can load up a gift basket, customize your order. And it's a great way to vote with your dollar and support the parallel economy. You know, instead of mindlessly going to Walmart or the drugstore and buying a brick of, you know, whatever Procter and Gamble brand or Johnson and Johnson brand, this is a way to take that money away from those, you know, mega globalist corporate structures and support a mom and pop business, an America first mom and pop business, like Diamond Soap Co. So diamondsoapco.com, promo code 412 gets you 17% off your order. So again, go check out the store, load up your cart, and say hello to Harold and Laura for us. There you go. Those are the two sponsors. Thank you guys, everyone out there who continues to support our sponsors and this channel. Please do us a favor and hit that red pill button on pill.net. Make sure you repost the show as well. If you're not already following and have your notifications turned on, please do that as well. Also, before we go too much further too, make sure you guys go follow the No Prisoners podcast. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I say it every time 45-1 comes on. This is the best kept secret online. The show is so good. And just not enough people know about it. You know, I feel like you guys should be way bigger than you are. I tune in, I lurk from time to time, and it's always super entertaining. And I'm always blown away that you guys don't have a much bigger audience. So guys, if you haven't checked it out, they go live from 10 a.m. Eastern time till, is it 2 p.m., right? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday?
Sometimes.
Or later.
Yeah, sometimes. It's supposed to go until 1 p.m. But here recently, you know, there's just so much stuff happening, as you guys know, all at once. And it's important to make sure that we're, you know, got our head on a swivel on everything, because so much of it is, you know, crazy. It's historic, you know, what's going on in the Supreme Court, what's going on at the border, what's going on with the just mounds of corruption that are being exposed. You know, you've got Joe Biden begging for money and $1 billion missing from the Pentagon. It's insanity. So sometimes we go extra.
Yeah,
we have to go extra hours.
Well, I've put the link to your Pilled.net page, because you guys are also doing some of your content exclusively on Pilled, right? Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yep.
So love that. I put the Pilled page in the Rumble chat and on in our Pilled.net chat. Please, guys, just pop over for a quick second. Go follow, turn on your notifications over there, and check out their show. You will not be disappointed that you did. All right, guys, big news today. Excellent news today. Wonderful news today. And it's on the back of Ronna McDaniel resigning or about to resign as RNC chair. Today, we find out Mitch McConnell is stepping down as leader in the GOP Senate. So we have officially sacked McCarthy, McDaniel, and McConnell. In November will be gone. It is a changing of the guard in the Republican Party. This is huge. I think, both the Ronna McDaniel and Mitch McConnell, absolutely huge news. We've seen with Kevin McCarthy being ousted, we were able to resist the ridiculous immigration bill that they were trying to pass. Now it looks like we have a chance for new leadership all up and down the RNC. What are your thoughts on this change in leadership, and who would you like to see in his place if you could choose?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Want to give that to me? Oh my gosh. I can't think of anyone I want to see like in that.
Well, that just shows you how bad the Senate is.
The Senate is just like a
it's
just a lukewarm pool.
And it's bought right now. I mean, we just had the thing from Carrie Lake where she completely spilled the beans on what's going on in the Senate. So, I mean, how would I even know how to like answer that question without vetting the replacements?
So I know that there was that video or that leaked audio maybe 3-4 weeks back that Carrie Lake put out there where they were trying to bribe her not to run. Was there something else that came out with Carrie Lake more recently about the Senate that I missed?
And I don't believe so. I mean, if there was, I may have missed it. However, from that leaked audio, it just spoke volumes about what was going on with the guy that she was talking to and how he was trying to seduce her with monetary and clout and just the real snakiness of how he was going about it. I have a lot of respect for Carrie Lake for not taking that bait. As far as any new information, I can't think of anything that's coming to my mind like right at the moment.
Yeah, that was.
Do you have any?
No, that's why I was asking, because you brought up Carrie Lake exposing how things are in the Senate. I didn't know if something else had happened outside of that leaked audio. Yeah.
No, so, but it set a precedent for how I look at the Senate now. It's like I had my suspicions, but then I heard that and I'm like, if that was fake, that was one masterfully done fake. If that was indeed fake, I don't think it was. I think that was a legitimate conversation which encapsulated a very big problem in our government.
Yeah.
There was something I wanted to talk about though. And may I back up to the previous topic of Russia?
Absolutely. You guys can talk about anything you guys want to.
Thank you. I find it curious that the Democratic Party has come down so hard on Trump in relation to Russia, when I believe it was pre-2016, I believe it was the Obama administration which made a large uranium deal with Russia. And then we have Bill Clinton going to Russia to speak on Renaissance Capital, I believe, paid $500,000 to do a speech on a financial institution which now, since the 2008 collapse of finances, is now poised to acquisition the entirety of this hedge fund and investment firm. Done forth by the Clintons and the Obamas have enriched Russia greatly. And I think it's interesting that the Democratic Party and the speakers thereof seem to have forgotten that. So if you're listening, DNC, I haven't. So
Yeah,
You're laughing. You're laughing. I know. Is it because of the way I deliver that? It's
Yeah,
just...
it's just like a surgical fucking tool, man. I love it. You just go straight for the arteries. I love it.
It's just, I'm so sick and tired of the gaslighting. It's like you want us to look at these really, I mean, they're not so much petty. However, it's like your hands are filthy compared to the hands of other people. The level of trafficking and corruption and then just passing it off. And then Biden with his damn ice cream eating in the middle of all this chaos and everything, and his appearances on Seth Green or like what have you, sitting there putting on his shades and acting like he's a boss and everything at the expense of the suffering of not just the American people, but internationally, and the part he plays in that. And from Trump, I mean, as a person, I really don't care too much for people like Trump being so boisterous. His policies, though, I really appreciated Trump's policies. And I would definitely vote for Trump again. The amount of just what is it called? It's just I don't want to use the word gaslighting, the term gaslighting, but the amount of distraction, like look over here, look over here. And it's like you guys are talking about like Nazism and what Nazi-esque behavior is like. I came from the left. I can tell you that on the left, it's very much Nazi-esque. I watched it through COVID. I watched people turn on their neighbors and turn their neighbors into the authorities. I saw people lose their livelihoods due to unsubstantiated fears. I watched like I'm watching the Krasensteins right now go, well, who could have known that the children would have been harmed by lockdowns? It's like, well, those of us who were banned off of Facebook, YouTube, back when it was called Twitter, all of these different social media platforms, including DLive, to go and silence us when we're giving warnings on what the logical outcomes of such steps would be. And then for these shills, I am sorry if I may use that language on your show. These are my
But the word you're looking for, I think, is projection, right? Because a lot of what you're saying is I mean, at least with the Russia stuff, where you started, all the things they were accusing Donald Trump of doing, they were actually doing themselves with the Russians, right? And they do this constantly, is they project their own corruption onto their enemies, and use that as a tool. It's one of what's his name, Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals, is to accuse your target of whatever it is you're doing, and it's unfortunately incredibly effective.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yes, you asked me about the Carrie Lake thing and the Senate thing, and I went there and then somewhere else, but I'm back with you now, so please, yes.
Well, let's talk about this new look Republican Party, right? You know, you have a new leadership in the RNC. What would you guys like to see them focus their resources on now that, you know, it's not going to be Botox injections and, you know, extravagant centerpieces at fundraisers that don't even raise as much money as the fundraiser costs to put on? How would you like to see the RNC kind of handle their resources and focus on? Is it ballot chasing, election integrity? What would you, if you were in that position, what would you guys be like laser focused on?
I would say you have to make the messaging about Democrat policy and not just attacking Joe Biden, because at some point, Joe Biden, I mean, everybody is seeing what's happening with Joe Biden. They see his non-functioning self out there in front of the cameras over and over and over again. Everybody can see the senility coming in. So while it has its place, like showing him stumbling around and keeping that in front of people, it's also important to make sure that we're attacking Democrat policies. So I think coherent and consistent messaging and also the groundwork needed to deliver and go out there and ask what people's pain points are, because that's what people want right now, because they feel like nobody is hearing them, because they're so suppressed by just trying to survive, the average day person. They don't have time to ask questions. And that's a huge failure on the part of the RNC so far, is not going out there and doing what Scott Pressler does, getting in people's faces and having those conversations. So I think that is crucial for the RNC to do first.
Yeah, I think it's infuriating, honestly, to see someone like Scott Pressler, one person, able to make such a difference, and watching him hop around from battleground state to battleground state as like this one-man army. If the RNC focused their resources appropriately, you could have 50 Scott Presslers in every battleground state, just absolutely pounding the pavement, registering Republican voters, getting the vote out, using data to target different types of voters. I mean, you could look at voter history and who's registered in the party to see who you can count on to get out, who's going to need an extra push, who you're really going to have to target and convince to get out there. There's so much that can be done to maximize the turnout on the Republican side that's been all but ignored at this point. So that's kind of where I'm at. Is I want to see the RNC turned into like a massive street team, essentially. Like, I know every election year where I live, I get at least 4 or 5 knocks on the door from Democrat activists that are, trying to get me to vote Democrat. I don't ever hear anything from the Republican Party coming to my door. Why is that? Why is there an army of Democrats out there canvassing and trying to get people to get out and vote and talk about the Democrat policies or how evil Trump and MAGA is? But I don't see any of that from the Republican Party. I feel like that could be directly blamed on Ronna McDaniel and the leadership of the RNC. The other thing is, two elections in a row now, you've had massive fraud and shenanigans happening in these vote counting facilities. RNC lawyers are nowhere to be found. Absolutely nowhere to be found. You goes days and days before anyone really gets involved or tries to stop the bleeding. We saw it in 2020 in Pennsylvania. They delivered 500,000 ballots overnight on election night, and it was 2 days before you had a Republican lawyer there trying to do anything about it, trying to shut that down. That's 100% on the RNC. So those are the kind of things I would really like to see. Switching over to the Senate, I saw a lot of people in the chat saying that they would like Rand Paul as Senate Majority Leader. How do you guys feel about Rand Paul replacing Mitch McConnell?
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I think so.
Certainly an improvement.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good, Kevin.
Back when I was on the left, I hated the Pauls. I hated them so much until I realized that they actually were giving a prescription to a successful lifestyle, and choices. They were very big on the acceptance of consequences for your actions. And on the left, accepting one's own consequences is very bitter, a very, very bitter pill, often spit out, because it's much easier to claim victimhood than it is to accept responsibility. So I was very much adverse to the Pauls, and especially at the time, Michelle Bachmann. I have since that time sent Michelle Bachmann an unsolicited apology letter that she never requested, but I wanted to let her know that had I known better, I would have supported her. And yes, Rand Paul would be a very good choice at this point.
Kevin, I got to ask you, since you've come from the left and you've been on both sides of this. What was your breaking point? Like, what was your journey going from someone that hated conservative politics to someone that would join 45-1 actual every day? on the No Prisoners podcast. Like, please take me through a little bit of that, because I'm very curious as
Oh,
to
I can give you the exact moment. It was shortly after 2008, and I was at a Pride function, and there was a concert going on in a park in Minneapolis, and quite a number of people were fucking around, like sex in public. And then I noticed that there were kids there, and the people with the kids were absolutely fine with their kids painted up like drag queens among people who were sexually active in public. Prior to that, I had never seen children at any of our events. But then they started bringing their children to the bars for things called like eggs and drag brunch at the gay 90s in Minneapolis. And I was like, this is not a place for kids. None of this is for children. It's all for adults. And I like looked at my husband and I was like, what are we doing? And he was like, what's wrong? I was like, there are kids over there. And he's like, oh, well, people bring their kids now. And I was like, at that point, I think I became a librarian at that point. I went from being a banker by day and an adult entertainer by night. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this life. It's like I now see what's going on. And this is pedophilia. This is disgusting. This is drug use in front of kids. This is sex in front of kids. And I don't want anything to do with it. And I'll tell you, when I opened my mouth and spoke my mind about these things, I was met with a great amount of, I'm not going to call it resistance. It was accepting that I now know that there are people who would have no problem threatening to end my life, that I would dare go against the lust of pride. And it was the realization I was looking at the 7 deadly sins, and it was my life. And that was my wake-up call. It was around 2008 when it happened.
Okay.
But yeah,
So it
was when they brought in the kids, adult.
Do you feel like it was being promoted towards kids, or
very much?
Yeah, so
very much. They had the clothing for the kids, they had the stickers for the kids, they had the makeup booths for the kids, and the makeup was being applied by people in states of undress.
This was early in 2008, because I remember seeing some of this stuff more recently. I had no idea this was going on as early as 2008. That's crazy.
Yeah, in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities, very much, very, very much going on. And that was it for me. It's like I'm with my stepkids. It's like Bruce and I are very, very new in our relationship. And so I'm learning how to step parent at this point to a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. Okay. And I am babysitting the stepkids because we're not married yet, but later on we're married. So I call them the stepkids, even like back then. I'm babysitting them while their father's off getting drinks and stuff. And the kids are asking me questions about like what they're looking at. And it was through their eyes that I woke up, because they were noticing things that they thought were funny, but also very gross. Well, years go by and the daughter ends up going through the whole university thing, ends up getting the radical bilateral mastectomy. Now she thinks that she's a dude. During this time, I mean, there's just so much messed up stuff. It's like, I think it realizing what I was a part of put me into a state of a nervous breakdown, and I too ended up going through gender affirming care. And I now believe that what I was trying to do is I was trying to escape from what I had exposed, like been a part of. And I was like, if I can just change who I am, it's like I can put that all behind me. that didn't work. That it was like I was kind of like mesmerized by the whole stunning and brave thing, and I walked down that road and came back with a story as well. But yeah, between and now they're trying to do these surgeries and endocrine therapies to the children, which galvanizes me even further. It's like I can see the utter wickedness, which is the left. And for people on the Democratic Party, not all people on the Democratic Party side support these things, but enough of them do and play along with the games, the pronoun games, and all these other DEI things. And I don't think I don't want to believe that they understand what they're doing. I want to believe that they're doing it out of ignorance. It's becoming harder and harder for me to believe that. And so now I just advocate to keep kids out of adult topics, and definitely never trans your kid. Never, ever trans your kid.
I think most people don't want kids exposed to this stuff, but they also don't pay close enough attention to realize how institutionalized a lot of it has become. And
right.
It's extremely dangerous because you send your kids to schools or wherever, and you give them their tablet and their TikTok account. And you really don't understand what they're being exposed to and how they're being influenced. And it's hard. I think it's hard to get we'll call them quote unquote normies out there to really understand the concerted effort behind this movement to really fuck with our culture and upend our society. But no, thank you for sharing, Kevin. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. You said something about like the tablets and such with the kids.
Yeah.
The biggest excuse I hear from the left is that, well, the children see worse things on their iPad. And I have to ask the question, why are you allowing them to use technology without adult supervision? They don't see that. They don't make that connection.
Yeah.
My kids don't.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how many people use the technology as a babysitter and then wonder, why there are so many issues later on in life. Feisty, we haven't heard from you much yet today. So how do you keep your kids off of the tablet and the TikTok and things like that? Especially, as they get older and all their friends might be on those things. How do you balance that pressure that you probably get to allow them to do that stuff as well? How do you mitigate the damage that could be done by those things?
So I have 5 kids. My kids range from age 8 to 20. And like my older 2, so I have a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old who's just getting ready to turn 19. They have social media, but they do their own thing, and it's really about being in your kids' lives and passing on your morals to them. All of my kids believe, in God, and for my youngest kids, like I'm really on top of the things that they do. Like, don't get me wrong, they have tablets, but they're very monitored on what they're allowed to do, watch, this, that. Like I'm like what people want to call a helicopter parent, but you know what? That's my job. That's my job to keep my kids safe from things like that. Like my kids are actually pretty naive to the things that you see floating around in the world that some kids have seen and stuff. Like they don't see things like that. Like my oldest, or not my oldest daughter, but my youngest daughter, she's 10, getting ready to turn 11, and she's the kid that like she still wants to go play tag at school, while her friends that aren't her friends now want to, do the gossip thing, this, that, talk on their cell phones. I don't do that. My kids don't have cell phones. I don't believe in that. I wasn't raised in that way whatsoever. So I think like my upbringing helped with that a lot. so, I spend a lot of time around my kids. We'll watch movies, they read, all of that kind of stuff. So it's just, again, it's monitoring, being a parent and monitoring what your children are watching. And I have the, accessibility to be able to see what they're doing on their tablets. And again, like I'm always there. And my older two kids, like they have the VR headsets and stuff. And my oldest daughter lets them play on hers. But again, it's the actual kids games, you know what I mean? And if for some reason they hear somebody saying something that they shouldn't, they know to leave. They'll leave the conversation, they'll leave the game, whatever. Like they know that they shouldn't be around those things. And so, that's pretty much it. It's just really being involved in your child's life. So, and then, good morals, and bringing them up with, the love for God and reading the Bible and such. So
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting those values and principles installed early, and being an having an active role, definitely makes a huge difference. It lessens the influence these outside forces have. All right, so I see Pinata put a James O'Keefe status in our chat here. It looks like he dropped a new video.
Yes,
So yeah, I want to get to that. Plus, I got a few other things for the back half of today's show I want to get to as well. But we're going to do that exclusively on pilled.net. So we're going to take this opportunity, this little break right now, to give you guys a chance to jump on over. If you're watching on Rumble, D Live, Cloud Hub, Odyssey, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you're at, please find us over at pilled.net. I'm going to put the link in the Rumble and D Live chat for you guys to make it super easy. It's also in the Rumble description underneath the live stream. If you can't find the link I'm putting, if you're watching somewhere else, it's really simple. Just type in pilled.net to your browser. If you're on desktop, you'll see our channel live on the left-hand side of your screen. Or if you're on mobile, we'll be up at the very top. There's the thumbnails at the top. We are that black and gold American flag with the 412 on top of it. The channel is 412 Productions. I'm going to play a quick video to help you guys find your way. Then we'll come back on the other side, say goodbye to the other platforms, and we will read your gold pill chats and then get into this newest James O'Keefe video, plus an interesting poll that I saw that I want to talk about as well, that I found kind of surprising, and I want to get the panel's thoughts on that too. But yeah, jump on over, guys. We'll see you in 60 seconds.
Pilled.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pilled.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pilled.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pilled.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, we are back. Thank you guys again, those of you who have jumped on over to pilled.net for the second half of the show. Really appreciate you guys doing that. Again, if you're on Rumble, D Live, Cloud Hub, Odyssey, or Twitter, last chance to get on over there before we shut down those platforms. If you're not going to join us, no worries. We will be back tomorrow. At least I will, at 4 p.m. Eastern time for Taking It Back. We'll have Frankie Val of the Quite Frankly Show and Zach Payne of Red Pill 78 joining me. Will be syndicated on Badlands Media. And then Friday, we'll be joined by Ben and Tina Garrison, I think, of GurGraphics.com for the second half of that show. But it is now time to say goodbye to Rumble, DLive, Cloud Hub, Odyssey, and Twitter. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday afternoon. And again, we are going for another hour over on Pill.net. So if you want to keep hanging out, jump on over. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.